All right, everybody. Welcome to today's session on what I like to call Marketing 101. The reason you are probably here is because you're either an agency owner or you're a producer at your agency. Maybe you're a CSR account manager. Obviously, we'd love to have you, no problem either way. The goal of today's training is to talk about how you're going to, put your activities into place to meet what kind of revenue you want to make this year. So how I like to do it is kind of state how much money I want to make. And from there, we can reverse engineer how much money I want to make into saying, here's how many leads I need to get in order to accomplish that. And then from there, we can talk about the types of activities you can put in order to successfully reach that income. So I think you're going to be impressed by the way you can goal plan and then turn that into activity. So let's go ahead and kick this session off. Go ahead and chime in the middle and ask questions. I don't mind that whatsoever. And we can just see how this goes. You guys are going to kind of learn a little bit today about the way I did it at my agency. So, and again, Andy Mathisen, Chief Marketing Officer here at Glovebox. Today is not about Glovebox, but it's more about your activity that you're going to put in to get leads in the door. So that's a little bit about what we do. And then obviously you may know me from my days in the insurance agency. We sold that agency back in 2019. So we were able to reach 100 million in premium by doing kind of this stuff right here that you're going to learn today. So let's jump right in. Our biggest mission when you're a producer or you're an agency owner and you're having your team get to their monthly goals is to establish a really effective goal planning. So how are we going to do that? We really need to understand what types of activity you need to do to execute in order to get to accomplish my goal. All right. So we really need to get down to a revenue goal. How much money do I want to make? And how much activity do I need to put in to kind of get to that revenue goal? All right, that's what we're looking to do is goal plan. So I have this philosophy. In order to effectively goal plan, I need to get what we like to call activity-based marketing strategies in place. So we need to focus on, this revenue target. And then, how much money do I want to make? And then work backwards until I have a daily lead target. And then from there, we can figure out, all right, what activities can I put in to hit my daily lead target? So I'm going to show you in a step-by-step scenario what it's going to look like in order to accomplish this, okay? We do have control over our income, and our daily activities will lead into that income, okay? So let's start right here. This is a good example of, and all this stuff are examples, but it's really just math. So this equation that I'm going to show you, again, will reverse engineer, your specific income that you wanted to kind of work towards to get how much money you're going to make every day. So let's start with the revenue I want to earn from lead generation efforts. For this example, let's say I want to make $6,500 a month in new business commission. Very attainable. Let me show you how that's possible. Once I set that target of how much money I want to make this month in new business commissions, I'm going to focus on how much premium I need to write in order to get that $6,500 in income. All right. So some math here. It's very simple to put into place. All right, I'm going to work backwards based on that revenue target. Specifically with this commission split, 80%, that was just an example at my old agency. We had our agents that were paid 80% new business commission. All right, so take whatever percentage you make as a producer, and that is your commission split. And then you consider what the agency average gross commission split. So like we have 10 carriers, for example. What do those carriers pay percentage-wise? Take an average of that. So if Progressive pays this amount and Travelers pays that amount and Safeco pays that amount, what is the average between those? All right. What is the agency average for that? So you take your 6,500, which is the amount I want to make this month in new business commission. I divide it by the 80% commission split that I make as a producer. And then I divide that again by the agency average gross commission split. All right. That equates to 54,167 in premium. So I need to go write 54,000 in premium this month in order to make 6,500 in new business commission. Now that I know how much money or how much premium I need to write this month, 54,000, I need to take my premium goal and divide it by the agency's average household premium. So let's say, in a given month, I know that my average household premium is 3,000. All right. That's a decent example of, home and auto package. And this is specific to personal lines as far as its example goes, but you can do it for commercial too. So 3,000 per household is kind of the average for me and my agency. So 54,000 divided by the 3,000 household premium equals 18. Now I know I need to get 18 clients this month. If I get 18 clients this month, I'm going to reach 54,000 in premium. All right. So that's that second step in reverse engineering how much money I want to make. Step 3, I'm now looking at, I have to go get 18 clients. How many leads do I need to get this month in order to get 18 clients? In this part of the process, you're going to figure out your 90-day closing average. So what is my 90-day closing average? You can look backwards the past 3 months. How many leads did I get? How many did I close? That's my 30-day, close ratio. Now I'm going to go back 3 months and do that calculation to figure out my 90-day. So it says here, be honest with yourself, use real data. Like, what is your actual close ratio? The more accurate, the better. So take your new client goal of 18. I need to get 18 clients this month and divide it by your 90-day closing ratio. So if I do 18 divided by an example of 43%, if someone's doing a 43% close ratio, we can do better on that side, but that's not part of the process today. Let's just use that for numbers' sake. 18 new clients divided by the 43% close ratio equals 41. So that means I need to now go get 42 leads this month in order to write 18 clients. Fairly self-explanatory. So you can do your own math there. Next step in the process, it gets a little bit more simple. Now that you've established your monthly lead goal of 42 leads, I need to figure out how many leads I need to get in a day. So that question comes down to how many days of the month are you going to commit to building your business? All right. So am I going to work 20 days? Am I going to work 24, 28? Am I going to work all 30? Figure out how many days you're going to work in the month. I'm taking 42 leads divided by 24 days. I'm just selecting 24 and it equals 1.75. Guys, now you know that you need to go get 1.75 leads a day, which 2 leads a day, right? Just round up. I need to go get 2 leads a day. If I'm getting 2 leads a day, I'm very committed to the process to go figure out how I can go get those 2 leads. And if I get 2 leads a day for 24 days, I know I'm going to hit my monthly lead target. If I'm closing 43% of my leads, I know I'm going to hit 54,000 in premium. I know I'm going to make 6,500 in commission. So it all kind of works, right? Go get 1.75 leads every day. Now that we know how many leads I need to get per day, well, let's go make a plan. What marketing activities am I going to put into place in order to go get those 2 leads? This strategy is all going to come down to what we like to call core activities. What core activities am I going to put in every single day, every single month in order to go get my 2 leads? It's going to result in your monthly production. So let's focus hard on this and pay attention to it. I like to point to these 6 core marketing strategies. And I will write these down. And we're going to go over each one in detail. All right. Natural market is the easiest way to go get at least 1 lead a day. I'm seeking out friends and family and my network of people. Who do I know out in the natural market? One thing I used to like to do every single day or for many days of the week is when I'm going to get my daily coffee, whether it's Starbucks or a local coffee shop, I like to buy the person behind me a coffee. In front of me, behind me, doesn't matter. Stir up a conversation with them for 30 seconds. Say, hey, I'd love to buy you coffee today. It's going to cost me $4, whatever. And after they get their coffee and after some very short small talk, I'm handing them a business card. And that's very simple. Just, hey, by the way, here's what I do as a profession. If you're interested in saving money on your home and auto insurance, I'd love to do that for you. Give me a call at some point. And they will probably call you at some point. And if you happen to get their contact info, even better. So we'll dive into natural market a little deeper, but that's the easiest way to go get leads today. Professional networking is actually my favorite. I say that because if you were at the conference last week for Better Agency, you would noticed I gave a session on how to get leads from mortgage brokers. That was where I was most successful. I was in front of businesses all day, getting leads from these networked professionals. All right, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Current client referrals, number 3 there is, I don't know, I feel like current client referrals should come with just naturally, right? You're already speaking to the client, the prospect, and you're going to ask for more referrals. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Social media is something you have to do. You don't have to do it every day, but you have to do it frequently. And what I mean by that is throughout the day, you have many phone calls, many Zoom meetings, many conversations with coworkers, and you're going to have something that you're going to want to put out there to the public for them to kind of know about your day, whether it's insight, perspective, education, testimonial, just whatever you have going on in your day, you can post about it. I usually like to keep a notepad available on my desk at all times. And after I get off a Zoom meeting or a phone call or a client, meeting, whatever it is, write down a little note about that meeting, and you can post about that in some form or fashion. So that's how social media can work for you in your behalf. Lead providers. This is obviously just supplementary. We're not really using lead providers for our core activities or our core marketing plan, but they're there if you're down on leads for that month and you need to go get some extra leads. Lastly, X dates. X dates meaning, hey, I didn't sell the prospect today, but in 6 to 12 months, I'm going to go sell them again. I'm going to go attempt to quote and sell their insurance. So I'm going to set the expectation that I'm going to call them in 6 to 12 months. And X dates are a great list of leads that you already have, and you're going to keep working. Let's go into everyone in detail here. Your natural market, I talked about a little bit, your friends, your family. You have common interest groups. I like to go bowling. Maybe I have a bowling league. That's another good opportunity there. Whatever league you're in, whatever fantasy football you have going on, we're working on our common interest groups, okay? Restaurants, stores, coffee shops. And I mentioned the coffee shop situation. That's a good example. If I'm at a restaurant, I'm maybe getting the waiter or waitress their info, giving them my card, whatever that may be. Stores, I can actually point to someone who I knew who would go into gas stations and they leave a stack of cards at the cashier in the front. They'd ask, hey, do you mind if I leave my stack of cards here? And some people allow that. So certainly go try it. Leave your cards on those little bulletin boards instead of the shops you see, and just, see how many leads you can get there. Campaigns are really just, hey, I'm collecting names and numbers and emails of people. And at some point I'm going to be running a small campaign and telling them what I do and offering my services. Booths and sponsorships and seminars are an easy opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to spend $500 to get a booth at this event. It doesn't matter what the event is, whether it's local or statewide or national, and you're going to be in front of people that way. RV events were always a big one for me. I'd like find the local RV events and know that if they have an RV, they have a vehicle, they have a home, I would imagine. So that was always an interesting one. Employee benefits programs. Let me just talk about that for a minute. So if you go down the street and you notice there's a company of 50 people in it, it doesn't matter what the industry they're in or what they do for their service or product, but you just go to the manager and you say, hey, I'd love to be your dedicated insurance agent for your group here. I want to come in once a quarter and just give a quick training on what I do and why insurance is important. And in front of 50 people at once, you're going to get 10, 15 leads from that one session. So that's an interesting opportunity to be the dedicated insurance agent at any B2B, any local business, right? Volunteering and community involvement never hurts. You should be doing that. And it definitely helps to get your name out there as well. People do appreciate that. And it's a good thing to do for your business. And lastly, promoting local businesses. If you help promote others, they should scratch your back too. All right. So whatever that may look like for you. So friends and family for me is, hey, if I'm just getting started in the industry, I always go to my friends and family first because it's the low-hanging fruit. Regardless of if you actually get their business, it's about showing that you can quote and sell insurance, and then they're eventually going to come with you. So that's just proving that you're good at your job. Think of anyone, parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents, etc. Dive into your friends and their relatives. So that can be a tree of leads there. You're talking hundreds of people. So exhaust that funnel to the best of your ability. And you'd kind of be surprised at how far that extends. Common interest groups, talked about this a little bit, but you have your clubs, your fraternities, sororities, associations, your church, so on and so forth, can be very effective for you. And then restaurants, shops, and coffee stores, kind of went through everything here, but I really think buying someone a coffee behind you in line really goes a long way. It was one thing that really worked for me. The key on this slide is handing out 5 cards per day. If you're anywhere, gas station, store, restaurant, hand out cards. You're always small talk, right? You're always having these conversations with people. So pass out 5 cards a day. That's just an initiative of your own. If you're passing out 5 cards a day, one of those people will call you. Start some sort of a fundraiser. I always like to do this where you're basically, you're asking for referrals and you're donating $25 per qualified leads to a charity. So you're basically saying, hey, I'm, collecting money, and as part of me collecting money for this cause, I do this service as well. And hey, if you do get a quote with me, I'm going to donate $25 to that same fund, that same charity that I'm building that campaign for. Something else you can do is buy an iPad, buy a signed piece of memorabilia, and run a drawing or a contest where, hey, if you do this action item, or you call to action, whatever that call to action is, I'm going to put your name in a hat and you could win this big prize, whatever that may be. Again, during the process, you're promoting yourself as an advisor, and you hold maybe some seminars, because at this point you're building a list of people, and you could hold these quarterly or annual seminars to review deck pages and teach them a little bit about insurance. Went into detail on this, but these trade shows or conventions, and these are opportunities that you should be seeking out a couple times a year. So get yourself involved in your community in some form or fashion, or nationally as well. Kind of dove into the employee benefits side. I do think whether it's a small or big firm, that you can be known as the preferred insurance agent at that business. So seek that out as well. I think, there's a lot of volunteer opportunities. And if you choose one that you really want to do and you do that every year, it can be your thing. Like for us at our agency, we did this toy drive, and we would always just collect as many toys as possible, donate to this charity. And then we would just get to know these people, and we would get to know the people that were donating the toys. And it gave us an opportunity to do a couple different things for the community. So I thought that was very helpful. For any sort of local business, again, just teaming up with someone. In this example, Joe Schmo's Coffee, I would go to the coffee shop. I would offer free coffee for everyone who walked in the door between the hours of 9 and 11. And I was providing a free, no obligation quote for every coffee that I purchased as well. So it was just like, hey, I'm buying you a coffee regardless, and I'm here for you if you want a free, no obligation quote. You are also going to promote that business outside of that session of 9 to 11. So you're basically sending out to your list of people, hey, come get a free coffee, come, come use this local business, and we like to promote other businesses. So that was the opportunity there. My favorite would be this slide right here, and I'm going to dive into each one specifically, but mortgage brokers are the low-hanging fruit inside of professional networking to get leads. If you were at the conference last week, you saw me talk about this in detail. If you would like me to go into that with you because you weren't in attendance at the conference, I'd be more than happy to show that to you. It's really just steps A to Z on how to go get leads from mortgage professionals. But this also can dive into realtors, financial planners, life and health agents, so on and so forth. So you can see here in a minute what I mean by that. With mortgage brokers specifically, why do we work with them? Well, because you have to have home insurance in order to close on a home loan. So if I know that going in, I know that I should probably be getting my name out to these local mortgage brokers because at some point in time, they're going to need you as part of their process. A lot of times clients walk into buying a house and they don't consider insurance as part of the process. So they didn't think about it, but then if the mortgage broker refers you, then obviously that's a quick and easy way to get some business. It should be one of your highest closing leads that you get because these people are ready to buy today. I say this often, but we are the cherry on top of the loan by providing additional savings and red carpet service during the loan process. Insurance during a home buying process is a pain in the ass because they're focused on getting moved into that home. Well, if I make it a very good experience with, the way I quote and sell and the way I offer my services and save them money as well, then that's a good experience. I want that as part of my mortgage process. So mortgage brokers should be very excited to work with you if you're good at what you do. And I always used to like to say, we're making the loan officer, the mortgage broker, look like a rock star when they're referring me, the agent, because I'm going to make them look good. I like to say realtors are the next best option in the real estate transaction because obviously they're showing off the home and they're getting the buyer prepared to purchase that home. But if you educate the realtor on how insurance works, with what to look out for with roofs and wiring and plumbing and the guts of the home, your furnace and AC and all that good stuff. If you kind of show them and teach them what to look for when they're showing off the home, you're going to make them a better professional. And then they're going to think of you because you're the one that educated them on the process. I like to offer free clue reports. That way, if a realtor is showing off a home and the buyer likes it, we can give the clue report to the realtor on that property so they can see the history, the claims history on that property and ensure that that's the right one that we should be putting an offer on. And then at that point, I know that that's the house that's being purchased and I can get that lead. All right. So that's a good opportunity. If you do not have a home buyer insurability checklist, I highly recommend getting one. That's you putting together a list of 20 items that realtors should be looking for when they're showing off homes with regard to insurability. And so what you can do is have that PDF included in the buyer's packet because realtors have this, this folder with all this documentation inside of it, and you would put your insurability checklist inside of that process. So now you're being a part of what they do. So that's a good opportunity. I do have an insurability checklist if you want one to kind of mock up. So that's a good opportunity there. Financial planners, if you're not familiar with kind of working with them, they do this discovery call with their clients on the initial conversation, kind of discussing and understanding how much money they spend in certain places and where they can reallocate money. Insurance is a bigger chunk of money that they spend throughout the year with their insurance premium, thousands of dollars. So why can't we look to save them a few hundred at the bare minimum? So that's a good opportunity for financial planners to say, hey, you're spending too much money on your insurance. You should talk to my guy over at company A and they will get you that referral. Life and health agents, if you don't write life and health, natural referral here. Hey, I write your life and health, they write your home and auto. It's an easy cross-pollination of leads here. So they do a similar process where they do this discovery conversation and they're going to determine an opportunity to send you over. All right. So it's kind of this reciprocal partnership. Captive insurance agents, same opportunity. Hey, they might not be a good market for that client. So State Farm, Allstate, American Family, whoever it is, can refer clients that they don't fit that market over to you and vice versa. You kind of know where you guys fall as far as your appetite and what that looks like for your client base. You can't write everyone, and so they can't write everyone as well. So you can trade referrals there. Auto brokers, you guys get this. Buying a car, need to get it off the lot. Why wouldn't I just get in really well with a specific auto broker or two? So align yourself with these people and make sure you are a part of their process. Busy Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. So help out as much as you can there. With roofers, this was a big one for us at the agency. We worked really closely with roofers because when that new roof is installed, let's go give them the new roof discount, right? So let's go get that as part of their process. Hey, I just threw on your new roof. You should probably be reshopping your insurance. Go talk to my guy. And so if you're paying for or marketing with door hangers or flyers with these roofers, you can kind of get your name out there quicker. All right, how many partnerships per category should you be looking for? With loan officers, that number can depend on the type of what your capacity is. In my role at the agency, I was able to take on a lot more loan officers. I look for 25. That was me, and I think you're capable of doing so. And this slide specifically, it says 10 to 15. That's just because you may be focused on other activities that you're doing throughout the month. When I spoke last week about getting 25 loan officers, that's because I was having those individuals focus on just loan officers. But if you're going to focus on other categories, other industries, you can reduce the amount of loan officers and do these other industries as well. So you can kind of see the breakdown of how many you should be looking for each department here, each industry. And that's kind of self-explanatory. All right, guys, current client referrals. If you're not getting them, you're missing the boat. Huge opportunity here. Every lead that you talk to, every prospect that you talk to should turn into at least one more lead. They have at least a family member or a friend that they can refer you. So turn your lead into more leads. Getting 1 to 3 referrals from your one prospect can be done. And as it says, if you don't ask for them, you won't receive them. So let's make sure to ask. Here's how it can work. When you're doing your application process with your prospect, you're going to build rapport with them, right? You're kind of working through a couple minutes of, hey, how long have you lived here? Do you have any family that lives here in town? Oh, that's great. You do. Me too. I love this state. It's discovery. You're finding out information about this prospect that you're going to use to your advantage later. So I kind of like to find out who their family and friends are in the area. Just like, hey, you have an aunt here? Awesome. That's great to hear. You have an aunt, you have family. Great. Let's write that down on paper that they have someone who you will be asking for later down the road. As it states here, in a standard 40 lead month, 10 plus can surely be produced from a current client. And this script here will help you. It's saying, let me walk you through it. So it's me and John, the prospect. So by the way, John, how long have you lived in Colorado? Since I'm in Colorado, that's why I stated. I've been here my whole life. It's the best. Oh, great. Do you have any family that lives here? And then you respond accordingly and you write down those family members based on what they're saying. Hey, they have a brother, they have a sister, they have parents. Okay, cool. I'm writing that down on the application because I know I'm going to talk about it. And you're going to circle back to those people after you sell the policy. Maybe you promote, you send the quote proposal, and then you're saying, hey, it sounds like you're moving forward. Great, good job. I'll get this quote binded, this quote binded, and then I'm going to ask for the family members. Hey, I know you mentioned you have a brother here in town. I'd love to provide my services to him as well. Can you give him a call, or can I give him a call and provide him a quote? So you're going to work on that script. All right, social media. Really going to push your brand. Each one of you have your own brand. You have your company, but you yourself have a brand as well. What is that? So make sure you're going out of your way to push content to any one of these platforms. And you don't have to do them all. I certainly don't recommend doing them all because you want to be good at least one of them. So let's talk about that. For Facebook, you're going to be doing things like testimonials and education and news, maybe some polls to get some engagement. People actually respond to those. Referral programs. Hey, I give whatever for you just getting a quote from me. And of course, you're offering your service and you're doing fun stuff too. So like posting memes and making fun and poking fun at things is always helpful too. To get people to appreciate what you're posting. Join as many Facebook groups as possible. There's tons out there that can help you just learn from others and see what others are doing. And of course, if you don't have a business page, go ahead and do that too for the similar type of content. Really on Facebook, you're really not even focusing on B2C. It's you're looking for referral partners that you can be friends with, and referral partners to me are just friends in the business in other industries. I'm just getting to be friends with you, getting to know your family and what you do, what your hobbies are, and then I'm going to be gaining some intel about who you are that I can work on conversations with. And of course, you're going to like, comment, and share posts that your partners or your potential prospects would enjoy, right? leveraging connections to make yourself have that rapport building process a little bit better. So that's pretty self-explanatory. For LinkedIn, this is also B2B. Like you are literally just connecting with as many potential referral partners as possible. So your content here is a little different. I'm a big proponent of insight and perspective. What do I see in the industry that others might want to know? What do I go through throughout my day that others might want to know? And then offering your services as well. Instagram for me is just straight up graphics. And if you're not a graphic specialist, there are plenty of softwares out there that can help you. There's something called Canva, C-A-N-V-A, canva.com. It's the quickest and easiest way to build graphics. And that's just, again, you write down on your notepad things that you're seeing throughout your day, and you can turn that into a graphic really easily. Like, you know, a 12-year-old can go on a Canva and create something. It's pretty simple. So look to use that to your advantage. For Twitter, do not have to use Twitter. For me, it's all just chatter, right? You're just, oh, you heard this and you're posting it. You heard that and you're posting it. Your reaction to news, it's reactions to things going on, not only in your industry and your market, but things that you're kind of reacting to in general. And that's how you can build a brand. And if you follow me, you can kind of see how I use Twitter myself, but it also helps you use a platform to stand out a little bit more personality. That's one of those platforms where you can kind of be a little bit more outspoken and just be yourself. You don't have to be as PC, if you will, like just be yourself and show off who you really are. All right. I talked a little bit about lead providers. These companies are here just to supplement your lead flow. You're not using them as a core activity or a core strategy. They're available so that you can just get a couple more leads throughout the month. And that's just helping you quoting and selling, especially if you're newer to the industry. X dates are awesome. I love X dates. Again, as it states here, you already earned that lead once. Don't throw it away. You know, you put your time, money, and energy into that one lead just to get that one prospect. Because you didn't sell them today doesn't mean you're not going to sell them eventually. And we like to say, recycle your turn downs. The prospect said, no, I'm not going to move forward with your proposal. No problem. I will be hitting you up in 6 to 12 months to quote you again. It's not if you earn the business, it's when. All right. Have a process on X dates, you know, a specific day of the month that you work on them. Maybe it's mid-month, the 15th of every month. I look at my list of X dates for that particular month, dating back 6 months. Because again, we're looking 6 to 12 months in advance. So 6 months ago, I had a list of people that said, no, I'm going to hit those people up on the 15th of this month. All right. And you're going to actively stay in front of them, whether it's you generating a list of emails that you're going to send a quarterly email to and just keep your name front and center to these people. You want to have these touch points where you're just showing off what you do at your company and making sure they remember who you are. So that way, when you get to their phone call in 6 to 12 months down the road, they remember you. And I always put and make good notes in we used Easy Links, but make good notes inside of your AMS system or your CRM. All right, on their situation. Why did they not move forward? All right, so with an X-Date program, you're really going to work on, scheduling out appointments. I want to say, hey, I'm calling you just to get an appointment on the book so we can talk about your insurance. If now is not a good time, does next week at 2 p.m. on Wednesday sound good? You're really setting appointments and you're staying consistent, and you want to allocate time every month to do this. This is an interesting concept here if you look at X-Date specifically. 40 leads in a month, let's just say, and conservatively, whether it's the 43% example I used earlier or the 30% close ratio, whatever your close ratio is, you know the math. It turns out to be, for this math here, 28 X-Dates a month. So you have 28 people this month that didn't move forward. That means that 6 months from now, I have 28 people to call to resell. So if I do 28 per month times 12 months, I have 336 opportunities a year of people that I will be calling again to try and sell them. 336 at a 30% close ratio. Again, that's a very poor close ratio, but that's not the point. Is 100 sold X-Dates. You can sell 100 people next year on the people you didn't sell today. All right. So 100 times the 2,500 in household average, doesn't matter the math, whatever your household average is 250,000 in premium. That's a lot of commission. X dates are important and they can lead to a great amount of premium for you. So focus on X dates. All right. You've established a daily lead goal. You've chosen your marketing strategies. You know your marketing plan. You're going to just pick a couple of these. Maybe you just pick one core one and then one side one. All right. All you got to do now is, build out your marketing strategy with daily activity. All right. So if you can achieve your daily lead goal, the revenue will take care of itself. You will make the money you want to make. The focus is on the activity, and you do have control over that. How much activity are you doing in a given day to fulfill your strategy? And consistency is the word on this page. Are you consistently putting in that activity to get your lead generation efforts in place? So regardless of what your pie looks like, this is just an example, but your pie will say, hey, I have this core plan and this side plan, maybe one or two others that take up a small sliver. But the concept being, I have these strategies in place and I put my attention towards them in this kind of concept here. All right. So you have control over this process. Define your marketing strategies you want to execute. Define a lead goal for your strategy. Define the activity that you want to have that you require yourself to do in order to achieve that lead goal, and just execute. And just know that you have control over this. I want you guys to focus on I'm actually going to end the slideshow portion of this right now, because I just want you to focus on what is your core strategy going to be. And when you establish that, what types of daily execution activities are you going to put in place? All right. What questions do you have on this whole process here? I'm opening up the floor for questions. And if you'd prefer to ask offline, I have no problem with that.
Ashley here has a question.
I had a question. We were at the conference over this last week, and we kind of live in like a relatively smaller town, like, I don't know, maybe 120,000 people total. So like when you were talking about the relationships with like mortgage brokers, like, do you have any advice for like those towns where, 900 in 6 months, I don't even think we have 900 in the whole town. So like, do you have any advice for like kind of that smaller town feel?
I do. It's because it doesn't necessarily have to be local where you're always going out and seeing them in person. It's definitely can be, your next biggest town, your next biggest city. The opportunity for you to say, hey, I'm just going to cold call people and I'm going to do Zoom meetings with them. And that's my relationship with them. And that's totally fine. You just have to try to work a little harder because you can't go visit them. Or if you do, you're spending a little bit more money and time to drive to them in a couple hours away. But it doesn't mean you can't have Zoom relationships with people. I give referral partners across the country, and I just plan on meeting with them once a month over a Zoom meeting so I can keep in touch with them and make sure our process is aligned. And that's okay. And that's could be a majority of your relationships. Or I just spend one or two times a month that I go drive to those cities and I go see them in those locations. Mm-hmm. So okay to just say, hey, I have a small town, but I just seek out people outside of my town and go to bigger cities. And
so like to like establish those with like people that are out, because we're about like 2 hours south of Denver. You're from Colorado, so we live in Pueblo.
Okay.
So to like kind of establish those ones, like you said, like I could drive up to Springs, but like some of the other ones, like did you get those on like LinkedIn, or like how did you kind of establish this further?
Exactly. You're starting on LinkedIn. You're making that phone call after they connect. And when you make that phone call, your goal is to go see them at least once. And maybe if it's not possible to go see them, at least you're doing the Zoom meeting initially. Like, hey, I just want to get to know you first. And then after I get to know you, I can immediately understand what type of partner you could be for me. And at that point, maybe I am scheduling a face-to-face, or at that point, I'm just saying, hey, can we do this every couple of months? I really want to get to know you and your process. And it doesn't have to be anything too business oriented. You're just going to get to know these people. And I mentioned this last week, but friendships, you're just trying to get to be a friendship level with them. It sounds silly and easy, but if you can get on a friendship level, then you're getting to be on a texting level. And if you're on a texting level with people where you can just like shoot the shit, that's great. You're in a good place. And you don't even have to ask for the business before that point. You can just eventually get to the point, hey, by the way, you know what I do. Am I in your one or two advisors that you refer out? So it's relationship. It's just it sounds so basic, but it just is, right? If you just get these people to like you, they're gonna eventually refer you. So
Okay, thank you.
And by the way, email me separately. I can chat with you more on that concept too.
Okay.
I see one of my former agents, Paul. Paul, how you doing, man? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Paul, what are you doing right now on this kind of concept for marketing activities? What are you using from this training that you've probably seen before, and what are you doing right now?
I'm kind of still strategizing. I didn't focus on realtors much in the past, but I have probably in the past year. Definitely just need to not get comfortable, I guess. At some point you get comfortable, you think you have enough referral partners, but it's that constant prospecting that you have to keep driving. I was not at the Better conference last week, but I'd love to hear at some point about how you're marketing towards loan officers and mortgage brokers.
Oh, let me ask you, are you sending your Monday morning email?
No.
Yeah, so you need to build your list of referral partners. Doesn't matter what industry, mortgage, real estate, financial planners, build that list and send your Monday morning email. That email is not a big deal. It's not specific to like paragraphs and paragraphs. It's literally just like a couple sentences about what my weekend was like. And you're just getting your face in front of these people. And after a while, they'll get to know you and they'll get to know that you do this every week. This is what I do. And oh, there's Andy's Monday morning email, comes every Monday. And that's how they'll remember who you are. And then if you're in front of them in person or if you're doing a Zoom meeting with them, there's no question about what they know what you do and they know what you're there for. Although at the same time, you're just trying to build rapport. So build, and by the way, are you doing your 30 connections a day where you're connecting with 30 mortgage brokers on LinkedIn every day?
Not for a while. And I think that's where I got comfortable.
Yeah. So you want to seek out 30 every single day for as long as you can do it. And it's fairly self-explanatory. And when you do that, you're going to connect with about 10 that actually click accept. And then from there, you're picking up the phone. You're going to get to know them a little bit.
Beautiful.
Cool, guys. Because I have you here and because obviously I still have a day job and what I do here with my current company, if you have not checked out Glovebox yet, I'd love for you to scan this code just to peek at what we do and book a demo with us, because I feel strongly that if you're an insurance agent or an agency owner and you are spending time on the phone with clients with regards to deck pages, ID cards, paying bills, basic stuff, service requests like adding drivers, changing vehicles, you should not be on the phone with clients on these topics. They don't want to talk to you. I promise. I know that's hard to hear. I promise they don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to my insurance agent. If you were not an insurance agent, would you want to talk to your insurance agent? I guarantee you the answer is no. Regardless of me having an opinion on that, clients, your book of business is getting younger, not older. And knowing that, you know that you have to be digital. And Glovebox is a mobile app for your agency. So your agency would have its own app. Your producers could have their own app that you offer your clients so they can log on and connect to their carriers through your tech. You're not going to send your clients to carrier apps. It doesn't make sense. You're sending a client to another brand and you're saying, hey, go work with Progressive now. I'm done with you. No, you don't want to do that. You want to keep them in front of you and your technology, and they can still connect to their carrier inside of your app and get their policy documents, pay a bill, start a claim, request service with you, follow you on social media. That's what this is all about. So stay in front of your clients using a client experience platform. All right. So if you haven't booked a demo, kind of love to show you at least what it looks like, a client experience platform. before Glovebox, it was really just, hey, I have an AMS system and they have a portal and I let my clients log in there. Those are not really utilized. Clients don't even know they exist. And if they do, they forget their username and password. We don't have a username and password. It's just you use your phone number and you log in. We send a 2-step authenticated PIN number. So worth your time to check out. With that, I will put my email in here in the chat. And if you have any questions directly, just shoot me that email and we can chat. I would love to meet with you all separately at any given time.
Hey, Andy,
Yes.
can I ask you a quick question?
What's up, Holly?
Hey, okay, what are your thoughts on BNI groups?
I can't stand BNI groups. I think they're a waste of time.
It's expensive.
Yeah, and you're putting yourself in a group of people that is basically saying, I only can refer you, but I can't refer other people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not only that, but you're meeting with just like 6-7 people for 2 hours in a month. And that's 2 hours you could have been prospecting for 20 other referral partners.
Okay.
So don't put yourself in a box. No pun intended.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, no doubt. So like those 2 hours that you spend a month, go focus on those 2 hours with referral partners that could bring you a lot of business, not just one person that could bring you 3 leads a month.
Okay, perfect. That's what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Yep. Spread the word. That's a good one. Great question. I'm glad you joined us today, Holly. All right, guys. I think that's all, unless you have any other questions. I'll leave another 20 seconds or so for any other questions, but that's all from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will send this to you all, this deck, so you can look at it further. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Hey, thanks, Andy. This was awesome.
You got it. I'd really love to hear that.
Thank you.